as the world watches for progress in ceasefire negotiations. Much attention remains on Russian President Vladimir Putin, but the focus has also shifted to those acting on his behalf, whether in Saudi Arabia or behind closed doors in Washington, D.C. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and former ambassador to the U.S. Yushchenko have led talks for Russia and Saudi Arabia on February 18th. Both men have long-standing roles in Russian politics and are trusted by the Kremlin. However, they were reportedly surprised to see another Russian delegation. Already there met Kirill Dmitriev, head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, was present with his team and speaking to other officials, but he was not included in the official talks. This shows how disorganized the Kremlin's foreign approach can be. Multiple teams sent to the same meeting signals confusion, rivalry, or even internal power plays. Russian officials may support Putin's vision, but that doesn't mean they work well together. In fact, they often compete. Experts say officials try to guess what Putin wants and act based on that, sometimes working against each other in the process. Dr. Stephen Hall from the University of Bath explains that this helps Putin avoid blame if something fails. If different sides dislike each other, they'll constantly try to outdo one another, believing that they've read these signals of Putin. That gives Putin plausible deniability if something goes wrong. It's divide and conquer. People close to Putin usually fall into one of the two groups. The first is these Siloviki men with backgrounds in the military or secret services. This includes FSB Director Alexander Bortnikov, Foreign Intelligence Chief Sergei Naryshkin, and Putin's close advisor, Nikolai Patrushev. Many of these men have known Putin since his KGB days. They see Russia as under attack from the West and focus heavily on national security. The second group is made up of technocrats, people with backgrounds in finance or government work. Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin is one example. These men are more focused on keeping the system stable and maintaining business ties, both at home and abroad. Despite their different roles, most people in Putin's circle share similar beliefs. They are mostly men close to Putin in age and suspicious of the West. Few women hold major influence. Even powerful figures like Senate Chair Valentina Matvienko or Central Bank Chief Elvira Nabiullina are not considered true insiders. Dr. Mikhail Suslov from the University of Copenhagen says many in this group believe the West has treated Russia unfairly. That's a feeling of injustice. The idea that the West has treated Russia unfairly is absolutely common to a very large extent. That drives their perception of the world and their decisions. This belief helps explain Russia's ongoing aggression, especially towards Ukraine, which they view as a key area of influence lost after the fall of the Soviet Union. That Putin's inner circle does not challenge him. People around him know better than to share bad news or disagree with his views. People close to Putin don't want to give him information that doesn't fit into his perception of reality. That seems to have been quite clear for quite a long time. You don't go this far with bad news. You don't tell them what he doesn't want to hear, Dr. Hall says this leads to a dangerous cycle. The internal competition for the president's attention drives groups to adopt increasingly extreme views. This includes a rise in anti-Western rhetoric, often veering into conspiracy theories. For instance, Bortnikov has repeatedly accused the West, specifically the U.S., of trying to destabilize Russia and even claimed it supported the terrorists behind the deadly March 20th, 24 Crocus City Hall attack in Moscow. Political change inside Putin's circle is rare. When someone is removed or promoted, it often signals a shift in power. In May 2024, longtime ally Nikolai Patrushev was removed from the Security Council and given a new role with less influence. At the same time, Dmitry Ives' rise signals a shift in the Kremlin as the 49-year-old investment banker skilled in social media and aligned with Trump becomes central to U.S. talks. His connections, particularly his marriage to Putin's daughter's close friend, helped him gain elite status. A few younger officials are moving up, but they still follow the same patterns. The 42-year-old Maxim Riskin is now deputy chief of staff and worked his way up through the finance ministry. Another rising name is Alexei Joe Biden, known for promoting Kremlin talking points like traditional values and a multipolar world. These new figures may bring small changes in style, but they are not challenging the system. While fresh faces emerged, they still follow traditional paths, according to Susan Love. They are part of the next generation, but they think much like the current one that these internal divisions affect Russia's diplomacy. When negotiators are given different messages or even compete against each other, it raises questions about whether any real peace effort is taking place. Paul believes that Putin may not even receive accurate information. He suggests that if Putin doesn't know the reality or refuses to hear it, meaningful talks become nearly impossible. We've seen enough times that Putin believes that Russia is the third biggest economy in the world, that we've seen that he believes that Ukrainian deaths are astronomical. But Russian deaths are very few. I don't think he's receiving the information. It would make it very hard to see a viable reality in terms of negotiation. This raises a bigger question: does the Kremlin even want peace if Russian representatives are being set against each other or kept in the dark? The negotiations may simply be for show. The leadership in Moscow may appear united on the surface, but behind the scenes, the system is full of mistrust, confusion, and power struggles. Without change at the top, these problems will likely continue, and any hopes for real progress at the negotiation table will remain uncertain. We have a response.